Hello, my name is Jodie Lyn-Kee-Chow. I am happy to have this opportunity to talk to you on Corona Care. So thank you, Field Projects, for the opportunity. I am talking to you from my home studio in New York City, Ridgewood. Hi. And so I will begin by answering these questions you have here. Before quarantine happened, I was excited for the possibility of actually having quality studio time, just due to having a full time job and being an adjunct and my own art practice. So I was actually burning the candle at both ends. And I really starved to have that quality time in the studio to get some projects done. So I didn't think that the quarantine would affect my life so much in a negative way. I wasn't even thinking so much about my own health and welfare so much because I am extremely careful, but not that that has anything to do with it. I was just honestly not in a good place when Corona happened in terms of having that time to get my work done. Um, but um, now I'm finding that almost at 2 months in, I what I thought that I'd be able to achieve in terms of my studio practice hasn't even happened yet. Did I have any shows canceled? I did. Actually, the biggest opportunity of my art career was canceled. I was a selected artist for a major museum event that was supposed to take place in June, and it was canceled 2 weeks into the lockdown, even after having numerous meetings um, during the announcement of the lockdown. It was canceled due to um, budget constraints and so forth. So that was unavoidable, but maybe in the future I'll be doing something with them. It's still uncertain. Other things I had going on was I was in a few group shows and had artist talks, interviews, that kind of thing. Most of which have been shifted to an online platform or um, postponed for in person exhibitions. Um, so I can promote one of them right now. I'll be in the Walking on the Edge um, event. You can find out more about it on walkingtheedge.nyc, and it's a collaboration between Culture Push, Walks on Water, and the New York City Department of City Planning. And as far as venues go, I'm not really looking for any new venues at the moment, but I'm always having my eyes open and ears peeled for um, opportunities to work with a gallery that suits the nature of my work or to work outside. I do like to work with site specific. Um, so I like to work outdoors a lot with my performances. I would say the themes and issues in my work pretty much remain the same. I am mainly only thinking about, like right at this moment, due to Corona, I am thinking less about this ongoing performance work that I've been working on and where it's dealing with race and oppression. Um, I'm thinking more about working along the lines of environmentalism, which is a part of, which is one of the themes I've been working with anyway for a while. Um, and so I'm thinking more about how I can push that issue in my work. And let's see. Um, the challenge that I'm having in terms of working with performance, the way I've been working with performance, because I've been working with other performers and collaborators, is the inaccessibility to work physically in person and to have rehearsals and um, working on spacing and just to have that direct physicality and to have that closeness with a collaborator. I'm struggling with that right now, but I don't know. I think that having this lockdown is forcing me to think about how I can work collaboratively, but online. Um, I feel like it will be definitely challenging, but I think that it's possible. Anything is possible, right? Um, I do feel that my work is more relevant right now, being that it's as a result of these of colonialism, or the, I should say, the systematic oppression from these structures that we've inherited. I am thinking about um, pushing this work, as I said, but it's still very relevant, you know, because the the poverty level, like it's certain communities that are mostly affected by coronavirus, for instance, you know, that lack of access to the best healthcare and best hospitals. It's definitely taken a toll. I mean, yeah, I listen to what's going on outside, and there have been so many sirens going on, and it's definitely affected the poor and people of color, these communities. So this this disparity is something that I'm mentioning in my work, and as a result of that, I do feel like that's why my work may be more relevant now. Do I use my studio practice as a means of self-care? I do. I like to draw. It does soothe my soul somewhat. And sewing, definitely, I find sewing therapeutic. And sewing is a big part of my practice as well, because I make these large scale costumes, or um, sometimes like more of a wearable art, fashion type pieces. Um, and so, yeah, I find a lot of gratification from making something just from pieces of cloth and being able to wear it. It gives me a lot of therapy. Um, so yeah, so what have I been doing to deal with this social isolation? I would say is um, right away at the lockdown, I found myself making masks for healthcare workers, and making some masks for friends as well. And I got really into the design of some of these masks, and so I sold a few and gave a few away, and made a lot for the hospitals. Um, to cope with all of this, I've been doing a great amount of yoga, meditation, dancing, and riding around my bike to explore the neighborhood, and especially on the nice days. Do I have any advice for other artists? I would say don't be so hard on yourself. Um, don't be discouraged if you had planned to do something and it hasn't come through. That's okay. Please be patient with yourself, and you're not alone. There are other people in the same boat as you. So, never feel like you're going through this by yourself. And there might be times where you even feel overwhelmed, and you just have to remember to breathe. Take a deep breath, and know that this will be over soon. Thank you. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. Do this for yourself.